The College of Policing recently published a guide for police officers to make sure the use of live facial recognition technology is legal and ethical. But some campaigners have heavily criticised the guidance. The director of Big Brother Watch called it a hammer blow on privacy and liberty. Live facial recognition means comparing a live camera feed of faces against a predetermined watch list in order to locate persons of interest. I spoke with Professor Ross Anderson from Cambridge University to understand it more clearly.
Well, I'm afraid that the document that the College of Policing has provided appears to be little more than a fig leaf for public acceptability. It looks like it's been written by lawyers rather than by people who understand the real policy issues here.
Anderson says the guidance ignores contentious issues such as tracking a person across multiple cameras and tracking people that might be associated with the targets. The College of Policing says those and other issues are out of scope for this guidance. People could be tracked for being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And there's no limit on the scope to trawl for potential matches. This isn't targeted, but could run you or me through the scanning or matching process just because we happen to be there too.
The technology could also be used to target people who are mentally ill or homeless, but who pose no real threats.
Well, if you have got homeless people hanging around the market square, they're bound to end up being on the watch list for a system like this, and so you expect that they would be one of the people who get continually moved on. And if the orders to the police to move people on come from some person calling himself some colour of commander or rather sitting in a control room, then you've got a shortage of empathy.
So it's like they're taking the human out of society in a way, the humanity.
Yeah, and we've seen many examples in past years of what happens when you pass policing decisions up a chain of command. Well, if you want to use technology to scale up the state's power of control, then the technologies that you will use will follow naturally a certain groove, given what we can do with technology.
He says the main face recognition technology companies are Chinese. The Chinese regime is using their systems to persecute minorities and dissidents, such as Uyghur Muslims and Falun Gong practitioners. But even if some of the worst offending companies are blacklisted or being phased out in the UK, Anderson says non-Chinese companies will also be developing their technology and making it available to UK police. He says he sees no evidence that the College of Policing guidance is sensitive to this type of problem. And what frameworks do you think could be put in place to make it legal and ethical?
Well, my view is that the public use of live facial recognition should simply be prohibited outright. The European Union is moving in that direction, and a number of cities, notably San Francisco, have just decided that it is a taboo technology and it may not be used.
Malcolm Hudson, NTD News, London.